All right, what's going on, guys? TTorres back here for another video. So in today's video, we're going to be installing the DHM high compression piston on the Grom. If you're new to the channel, we currently have the DHM camshaft. We have the Chimera Intake, Amazon exhaust. What else is done? Oh, and of course our ECU is going to be flashed by him. So here's what we're going to have for today's video. We're going to have the piston. We're going to have my flashed ECU back for the high compression piston. The NGK spark plug. And if you're interested in getting the same spark plug, I believe I got it from O'Reilly's. It was like $5 or $6. CR9E 6263. I'll have a link down in the description for that. We have the gaskets that go along with it, and then I will show you this actual itty bitty little piston. Okay, so as you can see here, here is the little piston that we're going to be installing today. Here are the rings for it. There's the gap, the rings to hold it in place. And then I have one other tool. Where is my grinding wheel? Oh, yeah. Let me grab this thing. And then I bought this grinding wheel off the internet. I think it was like 30 bucks. This is going to help us file down the rings that go onto the piston. Please forgive me, this is hard to do one-handed and film. Okay, so if you're interested in this ring filer that I have as well here, I'll have a link down in the description to that. So I've never done this before. I'm super excited. One other note, I am going to hopefully be going to the small bore event at the Tail of the Dragon. I believe it's in June or July. So if any of you guys are going to that, please comment down below and let me know. So let's go ahead and get right into today's install. All right, first things first, we're gonna go ahead and drop the exhaust. As you can see here, the exhaust is now dropped. So we're gonna go ahead, we gotta remove, we're gonna move the spark plug. And then we're gonna go back, take this cover off, take this cover off, find top dead center, and then I'll catch you guys back up. All right, next thing you wanna do is this bracket right here. There's a little 8mm that you wanna remove from here. And then what you wanna do is just pinch this in and remove this that plug loose and make sure that's nice and free. And I left my bolt back in it just for a placeholder. All right, next, let's go ahead and remove this spark plug. Be careful. Okay, that's done with. We have a new spark plug to replace this one with for the high compression piston. So we'll just set this aside in the toolbox as a spare. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is there's two bolts on top of here. It's a 10mm. You got one on this side, and I think you have another one over here we gotta get loose. So let's go ahead and take this off, and there's like a little gasket right here that we need to remove on the top of the head. Okay, so next thing, after you take these two bolts off, on this cover piece, you're gonna take your Allen key. This is a 6mm, and then you're gonna take a 10mm. We're gonna take this off, and once we get these two little cap covers off, you're gonna wanna find top dead center on your timing mark inside of here. And then, you know, I've showed it in a previous video how to find top dead center. So we're gonna take this off, get top dead center, and then there's a few more bolts we gotta remove, and then we should be able to take the top of the head off and start working towards getting the piston out. Okay, so we have top dead center. We're gonna go ahead and move this bolt here to take this socket off, or not socket, but sprocket, loosen up which will loosen up this chain, remove some of these bolts here, and then we'll be able to remove the top of the motor. Okay, so as you can see here, I loosened this bolt, and we're gonna take these stud bolts out right here, lay them to the side, and then we're gonna remove these four nuts on the top of the motor here, top of the head, and then we should be able to remove the top of the head from the motor. Okay, we got all the bolts removed. We're now gonna remove the head from the motor. Need that gasket. Let me take this chain out. Do I need to move the wheel?
No, but it will have to come this way.
To you?
Yep.
Okay.
So I can...
I'm gonna go get something to prop that. All right, so the top of the head is now off, so let's work on getting the piston out. Okay, so as you can see here is the piston. You guys comment down below, let me know how does this piston look for the bike only having about 1,000 miles on it. The cylinder walls look good, but yeah, that's kind of surprising that the top of the piston looks like that. A lot of carbon buildup on it. So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get in here, get this pin out, and we're gonna remove that sleeve, and that should free the piston. Okay, so you're gonna remove the little, I don't even know, what do you call that thing?
The wrist pin. The
wrist pin is now out. Go ahead and pull it out all the way. Okay, and then boom. Here is, yes, whatever. So here is the piston. Let me know if this is a okay shape. Like I said, the bike's only had 1,000 miles. And there's a lot of buildup on top of it. So now that we got the piston out, we're gonna go ahead and do the rings and grind down the ones for the new high compression piston, and I'll show you guys that in just a second. Okay, so as per the instructions for DHM, you're gonna set the end rings gap installation for the top ring to 007 and 008. In between that, that's the tolerance. And then on the bottom ring, you're gonna do 008 and 009. Okay, and then right now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the rings, the top. We're gonna do the top one first into the cylinder wall, and then we're gonna measure the gap in between the ring, and then we're gonna use the grinder here to grind off until we get down to the tolerance level of 007 or 008 for the top ring. So we're gonna do that now. Okay, so here's where we're at. This is where the grinding tool comes into place. So there was absolutely no gap on this piston ring, so we're going to use this grinding wheel. We're going to cut a little bit, put it back in, see what the tolerance is at, and then go back and forth until we get to that 007 or 008. Okay, we were able to achieve 006. We're going to have to shave off just a little bit more to get that. We're going to go with 007. So we had to do a little bit of grinding. This is our third attempt, and hopefully this will put us at 007. Stay tuned.
If you want to zoom into my crotch.
It's okay. All right, so as you can see, here is the piston. We have all the gaps are set on the top and the bottom of the ring. And you want to make sure whenever you go back to install the piston that you have 120 degrees of the ring separation in between, because you don't want them to be aligned with each other. So pretty much you just want to have them staggered, but the trick is 120 degrees. So the piston is now ready to go back on, and we have the pin back in on one side, and then we'll put the other pin on, and then we'll obviously put it back in here. So we're getting one step closer. I went ahead off camera, put the ECU back in. All I gotta do is put it back onto the mounting bracket and build the rest of the bike back in reverse order, and we're that much closer to firing this thing up for the first time. Okay, so you get two supplied gaskets. This is the one that came off the factory one, and then here, bring that one, yeah, and then there's one more that goes on here. So the one that has the perforated like holes here, that's the one that's gonna go to the very back of the motor, as you can see here. And then we'll get on to building the rest and using the other gasket. And then we made sure that our rings here are still about 120 degrees apart. Okay, so we have the first gasket is in, the second gasket is on as well. You'll notice the spacing on the gasket is for the spacers right here. So to make sure you have that lined up, just make sure the bigger holes are for the spacing right there. And yeah, what's next? We got to do we'll put the top of the head back on. Okay, so next on the top of the head, you want to do a star pattern, and you're gonna torque them down to 18 foot-pounds of torque. All right, so the ones that Samuel's currently tightening, you're gonna want to tighten those down to 6.6 foot-pounds of torque. And I'm working on getting the exhaust back on, and we've got the top of the head already torqued. I'm gonna take the intake or this cover off and make sure the valves are still adjusted at 0.005 for intake and exhaust. Got this tightened up, tighten the exhaust back up, and then we're gonna make sure we got top dead center and all that good stuff, and I'll catch you guys back up in a second. All right, All right, we got everything done as far as the timing goes. Now it's time to, whoops, that was backwards. Time to put the new spark plug in. We're gonna drain the rest of the oil out of here. Put some more oil in it. Tighten this down, and then yeah, we should be able to fire it up for the first time and see if we did everything right. Okay, all right. So Sam and I just finished putting the high compression piston in. Got the oil back in. Got everything tightened. ECU's back in. So we're about to start the bike for the first time. All right, here we go. I'm gonna take a video on my phone too. Okay, DHM high compression piston. We're gonna start the bike for the first time. Give it a second. It's extremely, bike is cold. Let's go. All right. Just need to let the bike warm up for a little bit. And off camera, we made sure that we adjusted the valves. The valves are adjusted at intake and exhaust are at 0.005. It almost sounds like it wants to die. And it did. It sounds a little bit better. Here it goes. So it just took the bike a little bit to warm up. That's just residual oil burning off. So I'm gonna let the bike warm up for a little bit. I'm gonna take it down the street and see how the bike performs. Okay, I just froze my rear off, but I will tell you, the bike feels great. It already sounds like everything's starting to seat. I'm gonna treat this piston as if the bike was brand new. So I think I'm gonna give it about 200 to 250 miles of breaking in and all that good stuff before we really get on the bike. But I would say, yeah, the hardest part that took me and Sam a while was getting the daggum, the cam timing chain and sprocket all back on top dead center. Somehow we lost it and blah, blah, blah and all that stuff. Long story short, we got it back. But do you think the actual piston itself, putting the rings on, was that bad as far as grinding them down?
Super easy. Grinding them down is just take your time and double check yourself, and if you have to do it 5 or 6 times to get it right, it's already worked. So
yeah, we the top one we probably did 2 or 3 times, and then the bottom ring on the piston probably took us 6, 7 plus times, but we got it dialed in right in between the exact specs. So thank you for your help, and hopefully, I know this wasn't the most detailed oriented install video for the high compression piston, but hopefully some of you all find this helpful. And yeah, so hopefully the next video with the Grom will be after the braking period, and I'll do a vlog and see how the bike feels. And yep, we'll just go from there. Thank you all so much for stopping to the channel for the first time. If you are, please hit that subscribe button, leave this video a big thumbs up, and comment down below. And I want to know, somebody else that's done the high compression piston, did your piston look like this? My bike only had 1,000 miles on it. That's what it looked like. But yep, leave this video a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, all that good stuff. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.